All right, my friends, what's that saying? No good plan survives contact with the enemy. Well, I have met my enemy on the chicken coop already. Well, it was about the 5th time I've met my enemy. But anyway, we've gone through so many plans. We keep coming back to the same one. We want to put the coops up here, but this hill slopes down. We don't want to have to walk down to get the eggs to do the cleaning of the coop. So we want the coop portions up here on the flat. Problem is, I don't want to crowd the driveway. Yes, my driveway is 15 foot wide, but I don't want to crowd the driveway. So about where the tape ends is 6 foot from the drive. And I don't want to crowd the barrel for my well. Yes, this is going to get cleaned up. I'll put a windmill or something. Who knows? Side comment. We'll see how this microphone does in heavy wind. It is very windy. So my coops are going to be 10 foot wide. I want 2 of them. I wanted a 4 foot walkway between them that I could have over the coop portion, a contiguous roof for rainwater, and to be able to walk under, lift the hatches up on the side to get the eggs. And I want to be able to take my tractor and drive right up here, lower the bucket, be able to open the door, sweep everything into the bucket. So I can't go behind the barrel. Now, I'm going to have to refine that, because if I meet all those plans, pulling the coop up onto the flat spot by 10 foot, trying to stay at a 24 foot mark to give myself 4 foot in between the 2 coops, I feel like I'm crowding this end of the coop. I mean, it'll fit through, but it'll be tight. These are the things I need to go talk to the wife about before I stick that auger in the ground. All right, let's go take a walk up and see what the wife's 2 cents are. She doesn't have the day off like I do, so I'm down here just trying to work and get some things accomplished while she's at work. Let's see what we can get from her input. All right, my friends, I spoke with my better half, and she prefers no roof between the 2 coops as opposed to a very long 12 foot roof between them. So that eliminates the option of putting one on each side of the well. I don't want to crowd the drive. Yes, our drive is very wide up here. After much measuring, even trying, I forget what you call it, Pythagorean theorem stuff, a squared, b squared, c squared to get the diagonal. I think there's some carpenter shortcut. 234, 235, something like that. But a squared, b squared equals c squared. 10 foot from this mark up to that tree branch is another paint mark to get my corner. 10 foot over gives me 14.2, 14.13 inches, so 14.2 inches to this corner, which does happen to be 10 foot to this corner. Gives me 10 foot up there, and then this ends up lining up being the same 14.2 inches. So my diagonals, if I auger out at these 4 posts, that gives me the left-hand coop, which then in turn makes this very flat for me to pull a wheelbarrow over to, tractor bucket, whatever. Big 10 foot opening, however we want to do that. I'm going to start augering some holes in the ground, and then our plans can't change anymore. We've gone through so many plans that I'm ready to start building this coop. I got a lot of material. I know I don't have enough. But since our plans changed yet again, I maybe have enough, because since we're going to butt the 2 coops up together, I need less 4x4s. I need less paneling, because I'm not going to have a left wall on one and a right wall on the other. We're going to butt them up together, which means I'll need a piece of cattle panel, plenty of chicken wire. Let's actually get started on this thing. And let's see what we can get done. Hopefully we don't hit any shelf rock. I also was afraid of it walked. Well, this wind is so crazy, it blew over a camera tripod that I thought was pretty stable. First hole, let's see what we're hitting. Well, game of inches. I am hitting the edge of this shelf rock. If I would have happened to draw my line over 2 inches. So let's adjust. I want to see, is there more shelf rock underneath this one piece my left foot is on? Yeah, we're only at 16 inches. I was aiming for 24, but I mean, if I'm on a piece of the earth, I guess it doesn't much matter. Oh yeah, that is rock as I go down the side of it. I have found where dirt meets rock. Not little rock, big rock. But when you hit a piece of the earth like that, it's a pretty solid hole. I mean, I'm 16 inches. Pretty sure this rock is not going to shift. And even if this top one shifts, that bottom one ain't going to. This rock my knee's on is probably, yeah, four foot long that I can see on the top of the earth. I thought I was the side of it, and I am. But, hey, I'm not beside the one down below. We're gonna go with it. Let's pull forward and do the front hole. Let's see where we end up. Let's get some of these rocks out. I don't know what type of rocks they are, but I've got plenty. If only they were shiny rocks, that would be awesome. My first couple holes with this auger, I learned it makes life easier. Doesn't make life perfect. Because everything it's digging up is loose. Which is a heck of a lot easier than what I have been doing for years with these things by hand. Looks like we might have a good hole here. I think I'll get 2 feet easy on this one. The big clumpy rocks seem to be what give the auger a hard time. Those rocks that are baseball size and larger. Okay, so what do we have? We have us. Knock all this dirt around because I'm going to backfill with gravel. I'm not going to do cement. Been reading a lot. I'm not saying what I've read is correct, What I'm saying is this is what I'm going to do. But I've been reading that cement will just cause your wooden post to rot at ground level. Well, you know what? Every fence I've installed, actual solid wood fence you get in the suburbs, has had majority of posts rot right at ground level, even though you're using outdoor fence posts. So I'm going to believe what I read on some of those forums. Some of the stuff that was recommended was gravel over cement to allow for good drainage. And then paint the bottom 2 feet of your post with tar to give an extra protection to the pressure treat. So we're going to try that. We're going to fill with gravel. The other thing I read was take your post, instead of making it square on the bottom, lop off, make it a point, so that any water that does run down the post drips off the point. Not sure I'm going to do that, because to me that gives a toothpick going into the ground that is, as you add weight, could cause it to shift some. I don't know. Just logically to me, maybe that's better on fence posts that don't have any weight above them. You know, I'm going to have a chicken coop on here, so I'll have a little bit of weight. So we're not going to do that third one I read about. Oh yeah, that's like 27. Perfect. A couple inches on the bottom of gravel. Okay, so I want to get the first 2 posts in the ground and get them nice and square, plumb, whatever you call it, so that I can then use the first 2 to measure 10 and 14.2, 10 feet and 14.2 feet to figure out where the third one goes. Once it's in the ground, then I can get to the fourth one. So let's get these 4 ready. Like I said, I'm going to tar the bottom. They're 2 feet in the ground, so I'm going to do 26 inches of tar with my fancy marking pencil. That's 26 on this side. Now, I don't know what the correct stuff to use is. Selection of tar is kind of limited. So we're going to use this water protective sealer and damp proofer. It's asphalt emulsion, but Henry 107. I don't know if this is crack and alligator resistant. For damp proofing exterior, below grade foundations and walls is why I got this one. Below grade. 2 feet below grade. I'm sure some chicken police will be out there saying this is bad for the chickens. They'll be able to get to whatever's not buried below ground. Oh well. I'm eating the chickens and the eggs you're not. Live with it. I'm going to guess this is messy if you get it on anything. Clothing wise or something you care about wise. And there you go. 6 painted posts. Bottom 2 feet. I used about a quarter of that can, quarter of a gallon. Painted the side, rotated, painted side, rotated. Just kept going until I saw no more wood grain. So don't know how many coats. These bottoms are what's going to be in the ground, so they are extra thick. And let those dry. Was in the sun when I started. Now barely in the sun, but that's okay. This stuff seems to dry really fast. Got my 2 holes augered out that I'm going to start on. My plan is to keep things nice and square. One thing I've learned is if you're at a square in the beginning, the whole thing is a shambles. So while those are drying, I'm going to go get a load of gravel, and we're going to put the first 2 posts in here, get them nice and square and plumb, and then we'll do the 10 feet over and 14 foot 2 diagonal and figure out exactly where to auger that 3rd hole. And then from there, we can figure out where to auger the 4th hole. And that is why I wanted to paint 6 posts. If I can get 4 in today before the sun sets, that would be phenomenal. Sun sets fast. I know it looks high right now, but it's falling like a rock off a cliff. So I'm going to take the Mahindra here, go get a load of gravel off the top of the hill, come back down. We got a shovel, need the level. I'm going to use a sledge to pack it in as a tamper, and we'll keep going here in a minute. All right, my friends, there you go. Try 3. We're just going to clamp some long 2x4s. I can take this one, make it oriented to where my other post is going to be, and then make sure that these 2 are married up well, and they are. And then that one is just for level. I am positive that's going to shift as I put gravel in, so that looks pretty darn good to me. I'm going to grab my tamper. Perfect. This one's perfect. Now realize these posts are in the ground, but as you start tying them to everything else, it'll really lock together. The extension on the pole barn that I did 6-7 years ago, I was worried about how loose stuff was. You know, the pole barn felt, the extension felt a little rickety, right, I guess. But as I put in more structure to it, it locked down nice and solid, and it's had plenty of bad weather. That I mean, it had 10 inches of snow on it this year and 12 inches of snow on it last year, and it's, you know, still looks brand new. So a little bit of wiggle right now is fine. Ooh, 10 foot, spot on. All right, let's shovel some gravel. All right, well, the idea here is we want to have the coop itself raised up high enough I can bring the front end loader off the tractor, or a wheelbarrow, or we get a little 4-wheel cart, something to be able to open the door and drop the shavings into. So we raise it up, we can do that, and then the chickens can also enjoy the ground underneath it to scratch at. This gives 22 inches in the front that they will have room to get to, and then quite a bit of room in the back. Now, we're not going to only rely on framing nails. I'm going to drill out a hole and put some galvanized bolts through there eventually, but just for framing, we're going to do this. Make sure we're still level before I tack another one in. The wind won't stop blowing everything around. Perfect. Okay, let's see what we got going on. I think that'll be deep enough. Well, I'm hitting rock again. Not these little softball rocks. Something big. Well, let's see how deep this hole is. Yeah, we're at about 22. I want like 27. Yeah, 27.